Hello, everybody. Welcome to the PWO WrestleCast prediction show. Yeah, Simon Miller, how you feel about that? I'm not bald, but I got hair. I can slap my head too. It doesn't have a good sound, but we're doing it. We're talking Slammiversary predictions.
You're right. We sure are.
See, I had to interweave that, so it'd be harder for you to edit out.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case, hello everybody. Welcome to Slammiversary prediction shows.
It's going up as is. Welcome to non-PBR content, y'all.
This is a two-man power trip here.
That's right.
So good. I feel like we haven't done this in a minute.
We haven't.
It's natural.
Yeah.
We've been too busy going to shows than predicting them. But yeah, so Slammiversary is this Saturday. We're recording this in the middle of Impact, so if things change.
Remember it did the last time, and we actually had to record after we recorded whatever bullshit WWE shows that weekend, and I had to add it on to the end of that video.
Was it Hell in a Cell?
It was probably Hell in a Cell. It wouldn't surprise me.
But we're just gonna start from the bottom and work our way up to the top.
And now we're here.
Start at 10, work our way up. God, that's one we haven't said in a hot minute. Eddie Edwards versus W. Morrissey.
I hope he brings Eddie Edwards in half.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
I hope he.
I'm just very concerned.
Give me one.
No, you're good. I'm just concerned as to where we go from here if W. Morrissey does win, because he now holds back-to-back major show victories over the former Impact champion Rich Swann and now former Impact champion Eddie Edwards. So if he wins here, I mean, what could we see next? Is he ready for a main event match?
So here's what I need to happen. I need W. Morrissey to damage Eddie Edwards enough that he thinks it is 2014 when he initially signed with Impact and cuts his damn hair and puts on some actual ring gear.
I knew that was coming.
But I have some bad news. I actually think Eddie Edwards is winning this. I think this is going to be W. Morrissey's first official loss.
You know what?
He'll beat the hell out of Eddie Edwards afterwards.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. I really do want W. Morrissey to win. But we do have to show a little bit of give there as far as booking W. Morrissey, which to Impact's credit, the matches that they've been booking him in have not been super one-sided. Like his matches with Rich Swann was a little more back and forth than I wanted it to be. But still, at the end of the day, he just decimated him. So, and as long as they're competitive matches, against the higher profile talent, I'm okay with just the end, him just tearing limbs off and beating them with them and
going all Goro.
Yeah, I think this is a win-win. Honestly.
Yeah, I do think Eddie Edwards is going to win, which is unfortunate. Maybe by disqualification. But we have to give W. Morrissey his first big loss here, I think.
Is Eddie Edwards a big loss?
Well, has W. Morrissey lost?
No.
I don't think he's been pinned yet or anything.
No.
So I think we're getting to the point where we got to show some humanity to this giant man.
You're right.
And I think Eddie Edwards is a guy who could reasonably do it, unless it's Moose or it's someone in the following pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But yeah. Knockouts tag title time.
Keep going.
Fire and Flava versus Havoc and Rosemary.
See, at this point, even if I'm gonna think it's a good match, I still have to keep up the gimmick that just.
No, you don't. You can have a change of heart.
No, I can't, because I don't care about this match. I legitimately give 0 Fs about this match. You wanna know why? Because A, I believe that Fire and Flame are retaining. All right,
Agreed.
that's A.
Although my only holdup here is if some sinister minister here comes out with Havoc and Rosemary.
I just don't know if we're going to ping pong these titles. I mean, I know that.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I know that we're getting the Iconics soon.
The Inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah. That is the copyright that they've given, so I imagine that's going to be their team name here.
Inspiration.
And hopefully they come to Impact to become the longest reigning, undisputed Knockouts Tag Team Champions of all time.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty incredible. They both deserve it. They were both unjustly released by WWE, in my personal opinion, and
they're both top stars.
Yeah. This match is going to be a serviceable match. I mean, nothing new we haven't seen. I mean, we watched Havoc and Nevaeh versus Fire and Flame X amount of times already. So
yeah,
it's just Havoc and another tag team partner. Yeah, we've been here. So on to the next one.
Chris Sabin versus Moose on 3. Moose. You already know. I mean, look, and I like Chris Sabin. Maybe this is where we get a returning Alex Shelley. But yeah, I mean, Moose. Come on, Moose. We got to come back from that big loss to Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and it was actually a good match. And
yeah, it was fantastic.
And I think the story builds itself there for him to eventually get a rematch.
I still think he's going to be the guy to take the belt off of Kenny.
Yeah, which is kind of why I like Moose continuing to win. When they build it up to Bound for Glory, I think is where we need to get now.
This is getting ahead of myself, but I would love to see them bring back the Bound for Glory series, where they have that round robin tournament to earn a number one contender match. It'd be a great way for Moose to just roll over everybody and re-earn his number one contender match.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be a good spot there. Of course, there's always room for some surprises on this card, but we'll find out. Next match?
Yeah.
Up next, we have a 4-way tag team match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. We have Violent by Design defending their championship. We don't know which rendition we're getting. We just know it's some form of combination of Eric Young, Diener, Joe Doring, and Rhino. My money is looking at this, probably Diener and Rhino. Although it wouldn't surprise me if they went Joe Doring and Rhino.
The less Joe Doring, the better.
Yes, exactly. And they're facing the team of Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus TJP and Fallah Bahh versus the Good Brothers.
So my gut is telling me it's going to be Rich Swann and Willie Mack because I really want there to be a title change here. I think that's what my gut is saying. My head, though, is saying TJP and Fallah Bahh win. Fallah Bahh gets off the schneid. He's been working with TJP again for a while, not living in the cardboard box anymore. This would be the ultimate redemption story for Fallah Bahh. Also, who doesn't love a big guy and a tiny title? Big
guy, little guy tag team.
Yeah.
Opposite the track tag team.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think it would hurt anything if VBD retains here. But I wouldn't mind a title change here either. I just don't want the Good Brothers to have it back again. I think their title.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I was literally like, you're going to say everyone except the team I'm picking.
Oh, man.
I have the Good Brothers winning here.
Yeah.
They won 2 weeks ago, so the argument is maybe they have momentum going in. And obviously, I don't know how the show is closing out right now on Impact.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of that has changed. But this is a 4-way tag match. That means there's no disqualification. We can get some shenanigans.
You think so?
I mean, they haven't said this is an elimination match, so.
Yeah, you're right.
I think we're still going to at some point get the Good Brothers holding the tag titles with Kenny Omega as the main champion here. I think we haven't had that for a minute, and we're going to go back to that. Mainly also because when they come out for their match against the Dark Order here, everyone's going to hold gold. And it's going to be the ultimate underdog story when the Dark Order win. Yeah, I'm tying this to AEW. The Forbidden Door's open.
It's always open.
So yeah, unless of course Kazarian screws them, which would be good storytelling. But I'm sticking to my guns here. Sticking with the Good Brothers. I think it's time. Put the straps back on them. You sound like you know something.
No, but next match, please.
Next match, we're doing Ultimate X for the X Division title. We have Josh Alexander defending against Petey Williams versus Trey Miguel, who looks to be in like the best shape of his life if you haven't seen him on Twitter, versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju. And oh my God, I have no idea who I am picking here. I'm gonna let you talk first. And I'm gonna see if you can sway me any one direction.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I honestly think Josh Alexander retains here because of that reason. I think there is so much pandemonium going on around everything. I think that Josh Alexander finds a way to retain. They just started this King of the Mountain gimmick. I really want to see where it goes next. I want them to really build on that and see where we go. Maybe Rohit with help from Shera, or Ace Austin in the same way with some help from Madman Fulton. I got nothing. This is a total coin flip. We did just see Chris Bay and the face side of this match face off against the heel side, and Chris Bay hit Josh Alexander with a steel chair. So if that sways you any, I don't know.
Yeah, I've just become very opinionated. Trey Miguel is winning the title here.
Wow, okay.
I feel like we kind of got to give him a rub here. He's been back. He's had his thing. He had the big last man standing match. Have him hold the gold here. Josh Alexander doesn't look bad losing in the Ultimate X. He doesn't need a pin or anything. And Trey Miguel can hold the belt for a little bit. I think we got to do something here to make sure Trey Miguel still looks like a marquee guy. I feel like we've kind of lost a little bit of that shimmer from when we returned.
A little bit.
I would also love for Chris Bay to win because God, I love Chris Bay.
He's a star. Out of all 6 of these guys, I think size, speed, and promo, he's probably the most world champion ready. Now that doesn't mean that nobody else is world champion caliber. I just like Chris Bay's promos better than everyone else here. His in-ring can go to back it up. But another conversation for another day. Yeah.
Bold claim there, Cotton. We're gonna see if it pays off.
Yeah, well, I know you're a big Trey Miguel guy, and I know we've talked about.
I'm also a big Ace Austin guy.
Yeah,
and Ace Austin should be the main event. He should be elevated at this point, but
he is that dude.
I'm thinking through these tapings, he's still working injured, and hopefully he's healthy and stays healthy through this Ultimate X match for him to tear the friggin' house down. But I think I'm locking in with Trey Miguel here. God, could you imagine if Petey Williams is X Division champion in 2021?
He's got the physique and the skills to do it, if anybody.
He does, but God, when was the last time he was X Division champion?
He needs to be Maple Leaf Muscle.
2007, maybe 2008.
Oh, it's been a while. He needs to be Maple Leaf Muscle and have Scott Steiner with him.
Since he
if
was
this is going to happen.
Baby champion, Baby Steiner.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2008. Oh my God.
Lucky number 13 is in 13 years.
Yeah, 2008. Oh my God. It's been 13 years.
Love it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Women's title match?
Yeah. And this is what I kind of squealed over just a moment ago. But it's Deonna Purrazzo defending against a mystery opponent. Saturday Night Live, Bobby Moynihan. For our fans out there
God
that are
damn, I love you, Codd.
That are fans of Smosh. So before you make your selection, because my selection before we came on the air, Matthew, can you tell them who my prediction was to win or to be the surprise opponent?
Oh God, we said a bunch of names here. Was this the Allison K pick?
No. What was the last name I said?
A lot's happened in 10 minutes. Huh?
Yeah. Alter ego of Susan.
Oh, Su Yung.
Yeah.
Came back tonight?
Not quite. Kimberly and Susan are in the back, and Kimberly at one point says, "You know about Su Yung?" And Susan says, "I've known all along." Drags her into a room and then gives this like evil, maniacal like look to the camera, and then goes in the room. So I think we're building to it, and this would be good character arc. It always has been. This is great storytelling. Obviously, Su Yung and Kimberly have been rolling with Deonna for a good while now. She kicked them out just due to ineffectiveness. I'll just put it like that. Incompetence. And they've been teasing the Su Yung turn for a couple weeks now. I think it's going to be Su Yung. I really do. I think it's time that and especially with Father James Mitchell back in the picture, I think this would be a great time to bring Su Yung back to the fold. I'm going to say the surprise is Su Yung, but Deonna retains. And I know that this has really conflicted you because there's
I think I'd be disappointed. I think I would be disappointed.
With Su Yung?
Yeah.
So, and I kind of get that because all night on Impact, Scott D'Amore and other various talent have been dropping hints as to who it could be. We've gotten everybody from No Way Jose to others. I'll just leave it at that. Maybe some hardcore country. I don't know if they really want to put that risk on getting someone and then not being able to bring them in is my thing, because I know on the WrestleCast I did say Kylie Ray, and obviously ratings got to have a little something. But ultimately, in-house is the best way to go about this. And while it's disappointing, it's the safe play. I mean, if you're looking for somebody potentially outside to come in and lose to Deonna Purrazzo, I mean, gosh, the list is long as hell. Essentially, at least half of the Ring of Honor women's tournament. I mean,
yeah, that is definitely. Anyone who's in the women's tournament's probably out. And I've been saying for a long time here, it's Gail Kim. It's got to be Gail Kim. It's Gail Kim. I got to stick to my guns. I still got to say Gail Kim, although I think in my heart of hearts, that's more of a Bound for Glory match.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look, who introduced this concept? Gail Kim. Gail Kim said it wasn't her, which is just the perfect swerve for it to be her. But I think for the sake of giving some kind of options that I haven't already said, other than the fact that it's probably going to be Gail Kim, I feel the need to throw out Ruby Riott, her 30. If it's 30 day for her, as we've seen it work for several other WWE talent, she could be available. The Iconics are a possibility, as we mentioned earlier, as the inspiration, but I think I'd rather see them immediately start with the tag team division. Mickie James is mentioned. They mentioned Laurel Van Ness, who we of course knows the Hot Mess.
We just saw her at Ring of Honor.
We just saw her live at Ring of Honor.
Live.
So I'm hesitant to say her as well. And because they've teased these names, I don't think it's them. So maybe this is an underwhelming pick, but it's someone who has been supposedly signed to Impact now for a couple of months, who they haven't put on TV, and that would be Killer Kelly. She's an incredible wrestler. You've mainly seen her on the independent scene. I believe she'd have a couple of matches as well in the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament. I think people would be disappointed by it because it's not the big hyped up names that have all just been released and are out there in the open. But there's no guarantee that those wrestlers who've been cut from WWE are on 30-day contracts or 30-day no competes. We don't know if Ruby Riott's available. Heidi Lovelace, I know we've said she has another name that she's probably gonna go by.
Ruby Soho.
Yeah. We don't know if Santana Garrett's going to be available. There's really only so many big names out and around that can work. There's a rumor that it could be Thunder Rosa, which would be awesome. I think Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo would be an absolutely incredible matchup. But I'm still kind of hesitant. So I think if it's not Gail Kim, it'll be disappointing to people, but it's going to be a big debut and a good, solid addition to the women's division. And someone who it makes sense for Deonna Purrazzo to beat. So I think that's the big thing here. I don't think Deonna Purrazzo is losing the title. I don't want to see people come in just to lose also. That's the big part of this. We can see some saves, some speculation of it being Taylor Wilde, which I think would maybe be the most disappointing. If it's not Gail Kim, in my heart of hearts, that should be. I think Killer Kelly is probably the best option here. You get the hype of a debut.
Yeah.
You have a reasonable defeat where someone can look great against the unstoppable women's champion who's about to be a belt collector of her own. Yeah. I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I'm also thinking about the Forbidden Door.
Are you about to say Britt Baker?
I'm not, but that is good. The hottest of rumors.
I think that's so dumb. I'm going to put that out there. It's not going to be Britt Baker. Why the hell would you do a champion versus champion match and not advertise the hell out of it? That is a top tier matchup that you make money off of. Not as a surprise.
Yeah.
You're gonna sell pay-per-views by having Britt Baker versus Deonna Purrazzo, title versus title. You don't make that a mystery thing. If so, it's a horrible, horrible booking decision. It's not smart financially.
Yeah. I agree. Any high name or high profile name from AEW wouldn't do the job. You need somebody who is likable, who can eat a loss, and who has won enough to kind of show their prowess in the ring.
Are you about to say one of my favorites? Virginia's Own? Oh, God, no. No, boo this man. You really about to say Red Velvet?
I would love to see Red Velvet in Impact. Now,
Let
granted,
me
she's
raise
there.
you from Red
Oh
Velvet
my
to
God.
a Serena Deeb.
See, and that was my question as we went off the air for WrestleCast, is that supposedly the relationship between Impact and NWA is there. How strong it is. Well,
she signed to AEW.
Then it's possible. But then you're also having her. She just lost the NWA Women's Championship. So now I don't want her to fall into this trap. And this is the reason why I didn't say Hikaru Shida also. Is that she just lost her title. You're gonna have her come in and get buzzsawed. It's gonna be great. It would be a great match.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But you also have to kind of have this championship rebuild. Mm-hmm.
Yes, agree completely.
Yeah, and so I was also thinking of just dark horses, just of people where they're likable. I think Red Velvet is probably one of the more likable women on the roster, other than Ty Conti. And the only reason I didn't say Ty Conti is because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see her be destroyed. So, I mean, but just throwing out some dark horses there.
God,
I think
if Anna Jay was healthy,
would
Anna Jay be a great person in this spot?
No,
if she was healthy.
I hate to say this. I don't. She's not on Deanna's level.
Well, there's so very few who actually are. That's also a part of this.
Yeah, is that you need to give her a credible opponent, I think. And I think that if she has been healthy and working, I think it would be fine. But the fact that if this was her return match, I don't know how well it would fare.
God, we spent a whole lot of time talking about this. I'm locking in. If it's not Gail Kim, as my heart of hearts has been saying for months on months now, I think Killer Kelly is a safe and smart choice here. It makes sense if she has been signed to Impact for like the 2 months that we've read that she's been signed for.
Yeah. Then I will also lock in that it's going to be Su Yung, and I'm just locking in with that because I'm that confident.
That's fair. All right. Main event time. Sami Callihan versus Kenny Omega. No disqualification for the AEW title. Now, I have to give Impact a lot of credit here. I don't know if it was this morning, as in Thursday, or what, but they put out this 8-minute video on YouTube where they just have people on the roster talking about Kenny Omega being the greatest wrestler in the world and Sami Callihan being this wild card who any given night can do the craziest thing to win titles. I mean, they openly talk about him breaking Eddie Edwards' face and feeling no remorse about it. It was just so cool because it was such a wrestler's perspective of the roster. I mean, you have Josh Alexander talking about how, there are so few people who can compete in the ring currently with Kenny Omega. And on that flip side, you have Rich Swann talking about how he grew up in the business with Sami Callihan. He's seen the things that he can do. If anyone's unpredictable enough to catch the best bout machine off guard, it's Sami Callihan. It sold me on this entire pay-per-view with just an 8-minute video. I thought it was so cool. I highly recommend everyone go watch it. Especially before the pay-per-view. Do it. It's 8 minutes of your life. It's worth it.
It's fantastic.
That being said, to me, I think this is the most predictable match on the card.
Yep.
A lot of people, I will say, are concerned. There's this rumor going around that Kenny's going to need a spinal fusion. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think that's going to happen before he drops the belts. At the latest, that's not till September 5th at All Out. So I don't see him dropping the belt to Sami Callihan here at Slammiversary. I could see us maybe having a huge beat down on Sami Callihan and someone coming to the save for our next lineup of who's next. But it's not going to be Sami Callihan's night.
Yeah, completely
If so,
agree.
also, I think it's a waste.
Yeah, Sami Callihan is not the guy. And we briefly touched on it earlier. I think the goal is to get the Bound for Glory, because I'll even admit this. I often don't see Bound for Glory as their flagship show, even though it is. It's their WrestleMania equivalent. My mind just always tends to associate Slammiversary being like a bigger show,
especially with these last 2 years.
Yeah, but I think the goal is to get Kenny Omega to Bound for Glory, where we can maybe get a rematch with Moose or a maybe a newcomer coming up in the ranks. And I think there's plenty of guys on this roster to get us there, because Impact does have the monthly Impact Plus specials. So you can see Kenny Omega having a match. And with his health, it works out, because they film these like a month to two in advance. So really, he's just got to put in the work, let it ride, show up on match day.
Yeah, got your promos and you're safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And with his state of health at the moment, I think that's what's best. I mean, there's no doubt that Kenny Omega is gonna win here by hook or by crook. I think you're right. This is the most, other than maybe Deonna Purrazzo. I think this is another predictable win.
See, I feel like Deonna, you still kind of get that shaky because it could be anyone who's building challenge if it's big enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the singles titles, the major singles titles, the world and the women's title are probably your most easy to lock in here. I think both the tag titles could change hands. I think the X Division title is going to change hands. I think this is a great way to get the belt off of Josh Alexander. Here's what I'm going to ask you, because we've got hints that there's going to be a large number of debuts, a large number of returns and signees, that as we happened last Slammiversary. Really, though, there's only one spot on the card that calls for it with the women's match. Could we see, maybe you think, someone debuting and joining Violent by Design and jumping in on the tag team roster there? I've been kind of throwing this one out here for a little while. What if Heath Slater is back and he's immediately with Violent by Design? It would be a re-debut since it's already been signed to roster. But it would make sense injury update wise. He'd be back.
Yeah, it would be a pop though, and I think that's.
I just have this feeling that Petey Williams isn't going to actually make it to the X Division title match. And I could see them trying to fill in that spot quickly. I'm just trying to think of other situations where we have possible debuts. There's not a whole lot of them. Not like last time when we had surprise opponents and we had Rumble or battle royales and I mean spots that we just had people come out. It could have been anything.
Yeah. So individuals that were released on April 15th. We had Wesley Blake, Bo Dallas, Kalisto, Tucker Knight,
Kalisto would make a lot of sense for the X Division title.
Yeah. Chelsea Green, we've seen her and talked about that. Mickey James, same. Peyton Royce, Billy Kay. Already talked about that. Samoa Joe, already talked about that. Steve Macklin, we've already seen show up, and I think he's doing a pretty incredible job. Given what you have Lars Sullivan. I don't even know if he has a future in professional wrestling, to be honest with you. And then that leads us to the next batch. Ladies that we talked about are individuals. Santana Garrett was released June 2nd.
Same with Ruby Riott.
Yeah, and for Santana Garrett, the only thing that is a question mark is whether or not they changed the logistics of her contract, because did they take care of it very unlike they did Malachi Black's. The other ones for June 2nd, I mean, Lana, Buddy Murphy, I don't think they're going to give him.
Buddy Murphy's already put out that his thing is up August 31st, so he'd be in time for All Out, but that's for another prediction show.
Yeah, exactly. Even somebody like Braun Strowman was a part of the June 2nd releases, so we're not looking at too many. Maybe a Wesley Blake or a Tucker Knight. One of those two, but I know that Wesley Blake carries a little baggage, being a part of the Forgotten Sons.
Well, so did Steve Macklin, though.
Yeah, and look at Steve Macklin. He's fucking killing it, man. I love what they're doing with him right now in Impact. Also, there's probably going to be a pre-show match, then maybe a couple more added. So that might be a PBR video coming up, but. I like to plug my stuff.
It'll be interesting. God, it just depends on where we go from here. There's a lot of options. I mean, they hinted also at No Way Jose as someone who could show up. I think that may have just been a joke, but I mean, it's a possibility. He's been gone for over a year, so it's very possible. All right, before we close out here, Ryan, I'm gonna ask you one last question. Okay, what is the match that you are looking forward to the most?
It's been over 2 years. We haven't seen it since. It's the Ultimate X match. Like, I think that's the obvious answer, and the fact that you look at everybody on here and they do all of these death-defying maneuvers week in and week out. Add in the Ultimate X into this, and I think it's just gonna be just a beautiful disaster. It's gonna be great.
I'm with you completely. I don't think there's a single bad wrestler in this match. I think, this is easily going to be the show stealer.
Yeah, 100%.
So with that, guys, if you don't mind, we're going to go ahead and go because we got to shoot another prediction show here. So what do you guys think? You with us? Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Let us know in the comment section down below. All right. Tell us what you're excited for also for Slammiversary. Any of your surprise appearances. Let us know what you think, okay?
Ooh, and if there are any matches added to the card after the end of Impact, you can catch them on PBR. That is Predictions by Ryan. That is a YouTube exclusive. And if there are any, check them out there, and I will put a link to this video in that video, so you will not miss a thing.
So guys, enjoy Slammiversary. We can't wait. It's going to be a very fun show. Impact tends to deliver on these kind of shows, so I'm very excited for it. I think that's all we got, guys. So have yourself a wonderful time. We'll see you very soon. Enjoy Slammiversary. Bye, everybody. Bang.